What is your vote for the worst airport? Travelers sound off with tales of the worst. Now, on the Brew.
All right, we all gotta take a plane somewhere. If you want to travel now, I gotta go through an airport, and some airports are really good, some are really bad. We asked you for your worst. What airports do you hate? Joel, what's your most hated airport?
I don't know if there's like huge distinction between most of them because most of them are pretty similar. However, I don't know if I wouldn't say hate, but the worst ones are probably between Denver and Minneapolis for me, for different reasons. Denver's isn't so much that the actual airport is bad, it's that it's so far away from it. It's like 45 minutes to like the first fun thing we can do in town, which is ridiculously far compared to most cities. And then the reason I also chose Minneapolis, which I was actually at a couple days ago, is because between Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, you have to take a train. And not just a tram, but a train. Like, you have to get a ticket, and you can absolutely miss your flight. You have to go outside at some point. So, which has actually almost happened when the last time Joe and I were hanging out in Minneapolis, and Joe's flight was earlier than mine, and I got stuck on the train outside. But I did make it on time. It was just very dicey. It wasn't a good situation.
That train to Minneapolis is not filled with the greatest type of passenger. We'll put it that way. It's a little rough, a little unsafe. I don't know if I want to be on that thing with like a lot of valuables and stuff. So understand. Hey, Denver, you know the deal with Denver. The rumor, Denver, apparently has that secret military base under it. Like that's why it's so big and that's why it's so far away. Another one where you got to take a train like a half an hour out of downtown. I do remember that too. Like you get a Lyft or an Uber or something, you're in the car for a while. It is way away from downtown. So yeah, and airport's also really, really big. Not on my list though. I have two on my list. I'll give it to you. Number one here, the New York metro area.
I know it.
LaGuardia. I will. If my friends fly in LaGuardia, you want me to pick you up? No. It is so hard to get to. The only people that are LaGuardia Airport is good for are people that live in Queens. You're right there, you can walk to it. The airport has no mass transit. The airport was also built as a teeny tiny little thing in the 1950s. They just kept adding on more wings, more parking garages too. It's undergone a total reconstruction, which is nearly done now, but you can't get there. The road to the airport is a parking lot at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. You can't get there. It sucks. It's terrible. And then the politicians can't figure out how to build an air train. They've been trying to build this damn air train since the 1970s, and all they do is blah, 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 we're going to build an air train, and it doesn't happen. So that's your New York politicians that can't get their shit together and build an air train. It's not hard, people. Put it on top of the road. Look, I figured it out for you. So there's that. My second one is Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale. So there's the Spirit Terminal on that side I got to fly into once years ago, but it's another airport where they keep adding on more gates, putting more airlines in, and it's choked to capacity, and there's not enough room for everybody to get through there, so when like gates back up into each other trying to queue into a line, it's a mess.
That's fair. I've been to both of those. I agree with you actually on both of them.
You know what? Who does? So does Alex G. Says Fort Lauderdale is horrible. I usually get delayed when leaving out of that airport. Well, yeah, it's all because it's just completely choked, completely packed. It's not a good experience, and they also don't have enough services either. You can't get to a good bar there because it's so choked. There's so many people there, and then you do get a drink, you're getting all tossed around, and people knock your drink out of your hand. It's a mess. These airports, they overcrowd you in. I mean, we all know flying's just a shit show now, all around, regardless. So when you have the airport experience be just as bad, it kind of like it's such a horrible start or end of your trip.
That's a good point. Shout out to Dallas. They won't let you bring your beer outside of the bar even if you're like 10 feet over. You just want to sit in your chair and not be crowded. And also shout out to the one in San Diego for only having 2 bars.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. That's yikes. That's not good.
They both are kind of stupid on that. They get honorable mentions now that I think about it.
Yeah, that's not good in a delay at all. Wow. All right. But some of the airports that are modernizing, they are doing a good job. I think how they're modernizing Newark Airport, that's good. JFK, the older terminal, the wings are finally tearing down and building new ones to handle the crowds. That's great. The older wings, they kind of slap on security too. Those are a mess, but they're trying to remedy that situation. Some airports are doing that. But Joel, our viewers have a whole laundry list of airports. So what airports do you find the worst and why? Here we go. Kristen says, O'Hare, same situation with waiting forever on the tarmac. Just the sheer size of it and waiting in the security lines. Way too people-y. Starman says Guantanamo Bay, obvious. Mike F325 says JFK, you have to be a track star and a mentalist to find your way. The world needs to rediscover DFW, where they still cheerfully will transport you in one of those big golf carts. JFK, they had them, but the bitch refused us because there was no nearby elevator. Wife fell on escalator. Hey, Mike F325, he likes Dallas and gives a negative report there to JFK.
Okay, well, I place more emphasis on alcohol and being able to walk, so that's fine. I'm not the cart. Okay, cool. Good perk.
But if you get in some of those older terminals at JFK, the bar service is limited there too. I mean, they barely have room to like retrofit a little Wendy's on the side.
That's Dallas, not JFK.
Yeah, well, no, he said about JFK, and I hear you about Dallas. Yeah, that drink situation is terrible. Nick says O'Hare, also agrees. Scoots in Vegas says Charlotte. VGK Tribal Chief says LAX. Joe says, Las Vegas, surprising with such a busy airport to be such a shithole. Always delayed and always forever on the tarmac, waiting in a long line to take off. I've never had that problem at Vegas.
Neither have I. I fly every month for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I have no idea. That might be me. LAX was a good pick because you have to take a shuttle just to get the ride share lot. It's not connected to the airport. So they lose points a little bit there in my book.
Yeah, I never had any problems at LAX. In Vegas, yeah, I fly through there a lot too. I actually get out, but maybe it's like later in the day. Same deal like Newark Airport here. If you hit this thing later in the day and there's even like a teeny tiny bit of weather, you're instantly delayed like hours. It just queues up and you're done. So maybe that situation has had happen there. I don't know. The nice thing about Las Vegas, if you really get bored, you can play the slots. So there's at least some entertainment.
That's one bonus. They also have facial. Like the last couple times I flew out, they have facial recognition, so I didn't actually give them my ID. I didn't have to. The last 2 times that I flew out, they just like boarding pass. I'm like, all right, cool.
I like that technology. Yeah, let's get this done. We're all.
I was cool with that. It's fast. It made it fast. So I don't know if it's just cutting edge or if they were experimenting with it or if it's going to stay around or if it's going to expand other airports. But it was definitely pretty efficient.
Yeah, we're all in a database. And Matt says, finally, Denver, never not been delayed there. It's the evil horse statue at the airport entrance. It was fine when they were at the old Stapleton. That was the name. Truly Airport. DIA is cursed. Well, yeah, you hate it too. I also just think that airport is also too big. It's another one where if you got to run from one end to the other, you got to take that subway basically, and sometimes that subway has problems too, and then you can't walk between the terminals. So if that train has any issue, you're immediately screwed. You're going to miss your flight. You're done. Not designed well, I don't think. It's also really scary. You come down an escalator into the TSA area and you just see that sea of people and think, oh God, there's 10,000 people in line. But they actually get you through pretty quickly. But yeah, big airport. All right, well, Joel, a lot of people clearly don't like Denver's airport, so we learned something here. Okay, well, thumbs down. And that's a newer airport too.
Yeah, it was on that's one of the 2 that I picked, if you remember.
No, I do. And if you want more fun, more bar topics like this, click that like, subscribe button for all the fun here on the big Jersey Joe 50 YouTube channel. We're growing each week and appreciate your guys' response and viewership all the time. That's a nice little promo. And yeah, I'm looking forward to flying out myself here by the end of the week. It's great. And it's airport flying. It's necessary evil now in the days of travel. I miss the old days of flying when it was actually like cool and you could actually have a good time at the airport. Now it's miserable. So those airport amenities, at least I think, if you can get a good bar, good food, it really helps.
Got to. It's the only way to nullify the pain just a little bit until you get there.
Yeah, it's always that little liquid courage. Yeah, like you're enjoying one right now. All right, thanks for all your great comments. Jersey Joe and Ion saying thanks for watching. Safe travels, and we'll see you next time, I hope.
Streaming now, Jersey Joe is giving away more Amazon gift cards as we play. What is it really in Spin to Win?